90+% of winning in anything you try to do in America today, you got to be excited. People in America won't follow or believe in a negative, dull, disillusioned, frustrated, dadgum crybaby. The greatest definition I ever heard, I thought about this 10 million times when I wanted to quit along the way of a winner. This guy said almost everybody in America can stay excited for 2 or 3 months. A few people can stay excited for 2 or 3 years. But a winner will stay excited for 30 years or ever how long it takes to win. See, if you want to win, folks, you gotta stand up and you gotta say, I'm so sick and tired of being average and ordinary. I'm so sick and tired of telling myself and telling my wife and telling my mama and telling everybody I'm gonna win. I found it this time. Watch my smoke. See, folks, if you gonna win, you gonna change. The only way you can change your life, the only way the future can be better than the past is you gotta change. Nobody can change for you, okay? Nobody's gonna give you something for nothing. It's gonna be up to you. You're controlling your future. And if you don't change, just look in the dadgum mirror. Look at the last 5 to 10 years of your life, and the next 5 or 10 years are gonna be just like that. Now, ain't that depressing? In my first 2 years in this business, all I heard was no, no, no thank you. No, no I don't want any. No, I changed my mind. No! And it was killing me. But 2 years later, something happened to me. All I could think about those first 2 years was the no's. And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, I paid a death claim. And I took that widow that check. And I said, man, this stuff really works. If it hadn't been for me, that lady and those 2 children would have had to live on $15,000. Now they got $150,000. Thanks to me and my concept and my business and my toughness, they got a fighting chance. Listen. But see, folks, I found out that all you can do is all you can do. And if you sell what's right, and I did, and if you offer the right kind of opportunity, and I did, that everybody's not going to buy, and everybody's not going to come to work, but enough are for you to become wealthy. All you can do is all you can do. All you can do is all you can do. But all you can do is enough. By far the most important thing you've got to have to win in business in these United States today is a very unique kind of mental toughness. I believe the difference in winning and losing in the free enterprise system is so small, it's almost too scary to talk about. You can do 99% of the things right in business, and yet if you don't possess what I call that winning edge, that mental toughness, folks, it's impossible to win. I believe the thinking in corporate America has been screwed up over these last 20 or 25 years, and I believe this screwed up kind of thinking started in our big liberal universities today. I believe a college degree in business for most universities today is not worth the paper it's written on. I just had a son graduate from the University of Georgia a few months ago. The reason I think that is because most of these professors in most of these universities today hadn't got enough common sense to get in out of the rain. They don't have any idea what it takes to win out there in the real world. They deal in a bunch of theory. These people have tried to fill up corporate America with this kind of thinking. These are the special people. If you're born rich, if you're born on the right side of the track, they rule you, the privileged class in America. If you're born poor from an average, ordinary background like I came from, they say you're supposed to give up all your big dreams and all your big ambitions and all your big hope. If you have a high IQ, they rule you brilliant. If you have an average IQ like me, they say you ought to drive a truck or be a janitor. Well, bull. That ain't the way. That ain't the way it is, and that ain't the way it ever was. They ain't nobody ever designed a test, nor will they design a test that can measure the heart of a man or a woman. The things that are unique to winning in business in America today are not outside artificial things like IQs, college board scores, college degrees, and stuff like that. The key to winning in these United States is what's inside a person. It's your integrity. It's your people abilities. It's your character.
Another thing I found out about most winners is they're big dreamers. They're big dreamers. And I believe that the high school years are for most people the peak years to dream and be excited about life. You know, these kids come into the 9th grade and their eyes are big as a baseball. They start driving or dating, or they're playing in games before hundreds of thousands of people, or they're in beauty contests, they're on debate teams. You know, to them, life is a bowl of cherries. They have an attitude that I was put on this earth to make a difference. I'm going to go out and conquer the world. And then they graduate. And then they get dumped down the big bad world. And people start lying to them and screwing them and using them, and they change jobs 2 or 3 or 4 times. And then one day, they roll out of bed, and this once vibrant, turned on human being becomes a shell of a man. And they develop an attitude that life's passed me by, that I just got to take it, that I can't hope again, that I can't dream again. See, folks, when you really get down to it, at A.O. Williams, we didn't sell life insurance. We didn't sell investments. It was so much bigger than that. See, at A.O. Williams, we gave people a chance to dream again. Do you know how important that is when you're out there frustrated and getting beat up? We gave people a chance to hope again. We gave people a chance to be excited again.
The American people have lost their toughness. They've lost their ability to make a commitment. See, folks, in trying to win in business, you're just going to have so many false starts. You think you get it going time after time, and you just get knocked back to ground zero. And it's your ability to compete, to pick yourself up off the mat one more time, to go for it one more time, that's going to determine success or failure. You know, we've got a divorce rate in America some 50% right now. You know, it just seems like that people that go in business today, they have an attitude, well, I'm gonna stick my toe in it. If I start making all this money, get all these promotions, then I'll see this thing through. Well, folks, that's not the way it works. The first step to winning in business in America today is you've got to make a total commitment. Total commitment gives you that little extra ounce of courage you need to fight back through the tough times. Winning in business demands the same kind of commitment that winning in marriage demands. You know, I fell in love with my wife in the 2nd grade. Only girlfriend I ever had. We ran off and got married our freshman year, had both of our children before we left college. We're true business partners in marriage. We go everywhere together. I spend more time with her, been married to her 26 years, now got 2 grandbabies, love her more today than I ever have. But I don't like her all the time. There's a bunch of times every day that I don't like her. You know, I'm a nut about brushing my teeth. You know, if I can get the toothbrush, I'll brush my teeth 4, 5, 6 times a day. And Angela's always forgetting everything, you know. And she always leaves the cap off the toothpaste, you know. And when I go in there to brush my teeth, the cap's off. It's got that hard little crust around the edge. You know, it just burns me more than I can tell you, you know. And I get on Angela's nerves about a lot of things. You know, we were having dinner last week with Jerry Falwell, and every time we get through, Angela kicks me under the table, you know, and gets me back in my room and says, "Art, you ain't got no class." You know, I wish, Art, you could learn to eat with your mouth closed, you know. But see, folks, if you want to win in business, everything's not going to work out like you want it to, but you got to be committed.
When we found out that cash value life insurance was a ripoff and buy-term invest difference was the way to go, and they had screwed our family, I'm telling you what, I never forgave them for what they did to my mama and what they did to me and Angela. And I was out to punish them. I wanted to hurt them. And that's the way the A.O. Williams people were. And the more they tried to, destroy us, there's just millions of wars that we went through, you know. You know, when you're a crusader, crusaders die hard. And so it just made us more determined to show them, you know, we weren't going to let the enemy, you know, defeat us.
Another key in building this winning edge is, folks, you got to stand for something. People in America, the good people in America, are fed up with these dadgum fence sitters and mealy mouths. Corporate America has an especially black eye in business today. Most people in America think you can't find a company. They think you can't find a salesperson that'll tell you like it is and stand behind their word. They think these companies will sell anything, say anything, just to make a sale, just to make a profit. Folks, if you want to win in the free enterprise system in America today, you got to stand for something.
You know, it's got to be simple. You know, I use this example about the Prudential rate book. When we kicked their butt in 1984, look at their rate book. It was 1 inch thick. They had dozens and dozens of different kind of products. This is A.O. Williams' rate book, 1 page. We had one product. We sold the consumer term insurance. We sold term insurance 100% of the dadgum time. We sold everybody the same dadgum product we own on our own dadgum life. Ain't that the kind of company you want to be part of? You know, you might not like us. You might not come to work with us. You might not buy our dadgum products, but you never have to back in the door when you belong to A.O. Williams. We do what's right for the consumer every time. We sell you what we own in our own life every time. It's got to be simple, and the bigger you get, the more complicated your job gets. You've got to have the ability to keep it simple and to spend, you know, I use this little formula, 90% of your time on the important things, and the important things in our business are always the people things. And that's what you do when you're starting out. You're dealing with the people, you're recruiting people, you're motivating people, you're building friends with your people. And then all of a sudden you get into compliance and you get into administration, and your job becomes more meetings and planning and all this kind of crap, you know. And before you know it, you're spending 10% of your time on the important stuff, people, and 90% of your time on administrative paperwork, all this kind of crap that doesn't make you any money. You've got to constantly strive to keep your business simple and to focus and spend your time on the important things.
I believe desire and will to win is everything. I don't know why I'm like I am, but my butt's always burning. There's always something say, Art, dadgummit, you're supposed to go for it. Art, dadgummit, you're supposed to be somebody. You're supposed to make a difference with your life. What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. They both are the same sex. They both are the same age. They've been at A.O. Williams the same period of time, have the same training, the same positions, the same contract, the same fringe benefits. They both are successful. They work hard. They're good family people, make tough commitments. But what's the difference? What does the $500,000 a year person do? The $50,000 a year person doesn't do. He pays the price and a little bit more. He works hard and a little bit more. He's loyal to the company and a little bit more. He believes in a little bit more. He makes money and a little bit more. He saves money and a little bit more. If you want to win in these United States, you got to be tough and you can't quit. The last thing I'll talk to you about today in building this winning edge is, folks, if you want to win in business, you got to be a leader. Leadership is everything. You show me anything in these United States that win, I'll show you a leader at work. You show me a successful church, Boy Scout troop, club, football team, business, I'll show you something run by a leader. See, I thought at one time in my life you had to be smart to win. I used to have these smart people that dress so pretty and talk so pretty and use these big words. They just intimidated me. And I said, Art, you can't ever be that good. Why don't you just throw in the towel and go on back and coach football for a living? And I found two things out about smart people. I think it's almost impossible for a smart person to win in business in America today. Because I find smart people spend their whole lifetime figuring things out. They're always trying to figure out an easier way and a quicker way. And another thing I found out about smart people is they just don't get around to doing nothing. And see, somebody like Art Williams, everybody said, well, he can't do it. And somebody like that can't do it. But he does it. See, folks, I want you to know almost everybody in America almost does enough to win. They almost get there. They almost are over the hump. They almost have it going. They almost in everything they do. Almost is a way of life to almost everybody in America. But the winners do it. What do? They do whatever it takes to get the job done. They do it and do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to be somebody they're proud of. We need leaders in America who can do it. If you want to become somebody, do it. If you want to go in business for yourself, do it. If you want to become financially independent, do it. I hear too much talk in these United States. Everybody can talk a good game. We need people in America who can do it. What's the primary difference between winners and losers? The winners do it. They do it and do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. And then they talk about how great it is to finally have achieved something unique and how glad they are that they didn't quit like everybody else and how wonderful it is to finally be somebody they're proud of and make a difference with their life.